1 year after the battle. The city that had been plagued with crime and violence was safe and peaceful. However, evil has once again cast its shadow over the city. Mr. X, the syndicate boss believed destroyed by the 3 young vigilantes, has come back to life stronger than ever. Thirsty for revenge, he kidnaps Adam in an attempt to lure Axel and Blaze into a trap. Axel and Blaze set out to help their faithful companion, joined by Axel's friend Max, a wrestler, and Adam's kid brother Skate. They're determined to save Adam and put Mr. X out of action. 4 young friends, rage burning inside them, make a stand for friendship and peace. Alright, in case you are not familiar, this is Streets of Rage 2. Gonna do a little bit of story time here as soon as I get this to see 5 lives. I'm gonna do normal mode. It's gonna be pretty easy for me, I think. I don't think I'll even continue. Of all the games, so story time. This is technically the first Sega Genesis game I ever owned, Streets of Rage 2. So way back when I was a kid, I'm gonna guess around 10 years old maybe, I used to go over to my brother Dan's house, and he would sometimes rent an entire Sega Genesis. And I remember going over to his house one time, and he had rented a Sega Genesis, and I think it was Altered Beast is what he had. And I remember being so impressed with Altered Beast, the voice, the sound, the music, the graphics. Really impressive. I think he rented a Sega Genesis a couple times, but I really remember the Altered Beast. I think at one point he bought a Genesis, and we played some Sonic, and I really loved Sonic. In fact, I think it was Sonic the Hedgehog #1 that really made me fall in love with the system. There's a couple different games I really fell in love with. Shining Force was on there. It was one of the early games I fell in love with. And Golden Axe would have been on there. But I ended up loving the Sega Genesis so much. I saved up a bunch of money, and I asked my mom to order Sega for me, and she got it. And instead of the Sega Genesis that came with Sonic the Hedgehog, or maybe it was Sonic 2 at that time, instead I got the system that came with Streets of Rage 2, and it came packed with a 6-button controller as well. Whatever weird deal that was. And I ended up crying. I did not know what Streets of Rage 2 was. I wanted Sonic 2. And I remember crying, and I remember, like, my mom, when I look back at it, I was like, gosh, I was just a whiny little brat, but I legit cried, because I was like, that's not what I wanted. I saved up all my money, and I wanted Sonic, and now I got Streets of Rage 2. And my mom, basically went, you know what, this was, like, summertime, and she, told me, hey, get out of those pants and switch into shorts, first off. It seems kind of a little non sequitur or nonsensical, but it's quite possible I was overheated. So I was emotional. I didn't get the game I wanted. I was probably overheated. I was crying. My mom told me to change my pants, basically. And then we went up and we started playing the game, and I'm sure I had a bad attitude for a little bit because I was stubborn, but as we started playing the game more and more, I fell in love with it. It was a good game. This is one of my favorite Sega Genesis games. And it is probably my best console beat 'em up. I do like some of the beat 'em ups on the arcade better in some ways, but actually I don't even know if it's better, but this is the one I go back to the most. And I'll kind of explain what I like about it as I play too. But it's just kind of funny that I was a whiny little brat and cried when I got this game, and then I ended up falling so much in love with it, to the point it was one of my favorite Sega Genesis games. And then my brother Dan, that one that used to always rent the Sega Genesis consoles, don't know how you swung it, but I remember I was like, for some reason I was sleeping on the couch. It was pretty weird. I don't know why. And I woke up in the morning and there was a Sonic the Hedgehog cartridge next to me on the couch. And my brother Dan had come in and put it there because somehow he'd gotten wind that I was upset I didn't have Sonic the Hedgehog. So as I look back on it, I was like, oh my gosh, I was a whiny little brat. But, you know, thank you to my mom for going out and buying a game that was good, even though I didn't realize it was good. And thank you to my brother for putting up with my nonsense and supporting me and, getting me the game that I wanted, even though I think I did end up loving Streets of Rage 2 more. But yeah, when we're kids, we're whiny sometimes and unappreciative, ungrateful. But hopefully with a little bit of self-reflection, we go, oh, I should have been more grateful, should have been thankful for what I had. Anyway, we're going to play Streets of Rage 2. Now, objectively, I think Axel is probably one of the best characters. Where it says technique, 3 stars, he has a couple moves that are really hard for enemies to block, and I think that's why he has a 3-star technique. But I never play him. He just looks so generic and boring to me. I usually prefer if somebody else plays him. Skate is just way too weak. He takes a lot of damage. He does not do a lot of damage. And sure, he's fast, but it doesn't really help him when he's in the thick of things. He's a fun character, but he's not strong. Blaze is the one I like to play the most. She's a good balance. Obviously, she's got the most balanced stats. I think it's kind of funny. Most games have the female character be the fast one. This one, the little kid be the fast one. Female character is the balanced one. Axel's really hard to explain what they did with him. But Blaze, I think, is the most fun to control because she's the most balanced. And then Max, if I just want to power through the game as fast as possible, I'll play as Max because he's got some things up his sleeve that make the game a lot easier. He's also, if I'm going to play 2-player, if I can get the other person to be Axel or Blaze, I'll be Max because Max's best strength is being the end boss killer. He's less good when he's surrounded by lots of weak enemies, but he can kill bosses. Like, there's been so many times I've been playing with my brother or somebody, maybe my brother Dave. He and I play this game a lot together, and he'd be doing his thing. We get to a boss, and we're doing our thing, and he just turns around and suddenly the boss is dead. He's like, "What did you do?" And because Max has these moves that do a ton of damage. I'm gonna go ahead and play Blaze. If I ever do another playthrough, I might do Max, but kind of show you what I mean. But Blaze, like I said, is the one I like to play the most. Almost 10 minutes in, and I've just been talking the whole time here. There's extra life behind that box there. Ooh, I was wondering about that. Yeah, I can't use this emulator. This is too slow. All right, I had to do a reset there because the emulator I was trying to use did not work well at all. So, quick reset, and I will grab Blaze again, and we'll get going again. Okay, so extra life behind the mailbox. Okay, I'm seeing a graphical thing I need to fix real quick, so it's driving me crazy. Okay, good. Alright. Now, the thing... Oh, there's so many good things about this game, actually, but... So the thing that's cool about this game is, okay, so you can do your punch combo. If you hold down B and press C, you do a sweep kick. You can grab characters. Let's see, so I grab this guy. I can knee him. I can slam him to the ground. I can throw him over my back, hit the people behind me. Which is my favorite moves. And you can kind of stun lock the enemies by just kind of punching them repeatedly. There's just so many options. That's the apple to recover health. Blaze has this weird thing where she's good at knives, so she'll actually hit enemies 3 times when she hits with a knife. The other characters will do damage only once, and then the enemy falls down. Let's see here. I usually get bored of the weapons after a little while. You can do damage faster with your bare fists, usually. So you can throw them. Certain situations, the pipe is best. Gets you good reach, at least. Another instance where Skate's not so good. He can't even wield the pipe properly. So the pipe's real worthless for Skate. Weapons are good at clearing big groups of enemies too. And then, oops. Can't hold a weapon while you're grabbing an enemy. This is kind of a mini boss. He's pretty pathetic, so it's really not any sort of worry. So yeah, you can throw him down. You can throw him over your shoulder. You can actually just end with slapping him in the face. That one's... There's situations where that would work, because it will hit anybody else that's in front of you, like that. There's somebody else that's kind of crowding you while you're grabbing. You can do that and you'll end up slapping them too. If I want to clear some space between me and the enemy, I'll throw him straight down, and then I notice she kind of hops backwards. So you might notice she ends her combo with this high kick. You can do that also by pressing, holding the B button and then letting go, and she'll go straight to her strong kick. One of her best moves is, how do I do this? Okay, so when she does a jump attack, she does a jump kick. If you do jump and then press down, you can do a downward slap that stuns the enemy, which allows you to get in and grab them. And grabbing them is really where you can do the most damage, in my opinion. In fact, that's why Max ends up being one of the strongest characters, because it's his hold moves that are the best. So if you can stun the enemy and get your hands on them, Max can just kill them so fast, it's ridiculous. Yeah, I haven't even talked about the special move yet. So, so B is attack, C is jump, and then A is your special move, If you are not pressing a direction and you press A, it's your defensive move. You mostly do that when you are surrounded or if an enemy grabs you. And then I'll show you on the next enemy I find. If you press to the side and do your special move, in Blaze's case, she'll do like this kind of fireball thing. So I'll try it on her. Like that. You lose life when you do your special move. If it's a defensive one, you only lose life if your defensive move connects with the enemy. Your offensive one... Oh, I was trying to get the apple and I missed it. Your offensive one always causes you to lose energy, so you gotta be careful about that one. And the thing about the special move, it can be blocked, but it will do damage even if it is blocked. Just not as much. Most basic enemies don't block, by the way. It's usually an end boss thing. So yes, for some reason I'm beating up a bartender in an alleyway. Oof. This guy's not too bad. He might cause me a life just because he's got some kind of annoying moves. But if you manage that turkey well, you can probably get through the whole fight and not die. Blaze can cheese a lot of enemies by just jump kicking them, but it's, in my opinion, very slow. So you don't want to go too heavy on that. Yeah, so this guy's main thing is that he can block, which is really annoying. Poof. And so he can't completely block the fireball thing. So I was able to knock him out. The first about 5 or 6 levels of this game I think are super easy. And that's usually where I just try to build up a whole bunch of extra lives. The levels are easy enough that if you're managing the health restore properly, you should not die. Like there's apples and turkeys all over the place. This is a really fun 2-player game. You can actually hurt each other, but if you're good teammates, it's not too big of a problem. And you actually do less damage. You don't do full damage to each other, which is nice. But it does kind of punish you for not being careful. Try not to catch your friends in the blast. The game does a pretty good job of like adding more enemies and more health restores when you play 2-player. The bikers will try to grab you from the rear, and when they do that, they usually get a free punch in on you and they let go. So that's why I use my defensive move. If I'm going to take damage anyway, I might as well damage him. Oof, got ran over by a bike. Alright. Now, you probably have not seen the basic enemies, like what they're good at necessarily. Oh, maybe I can try to explain that a little bit. So the bikers do the grab and then punch thing. These guys, the signals, their big thing is that they can throw. That's kind of their big move. If you get too close to them, they'll just grab you and throw you. They do have a slide move, but it's pretty lame. This is, I don't know. They're treating this guy like a mini boss, but he's pretty easy. These are some of the easiest enemies in the game, in my opinion. Just come up and beat them. Oof. Okay, there's just so many enemies that a couple well-applied fireballs might help. There. And then this guy by himself. This guy's really only dangerous when he's with a crowd. Because he has some damaging moves, but he can't usually pull them off. There is an extra life behind the truck, so never forget to get that. And yeah, I never had a strategy guide for this game, so that was just me. At some point you realize there's hidden extra lives, and then you start looking for them in weird places. I think the extra life in the theme park was the one I found first, and then I started, I think it's the easiest one to find. And then you start wondering where else they might be hidden. Let's see, so these Garcia guys are the most basic enemy. They don't really do anything except punch. They're pretty pathetic. These ones are called Surger, but I usually call them Garcias because that's like the main palette name. Got a boss fight coming up here. So the jetpack guys. Okay, now these guys, what do they call them? Reeds. I usually call them Donovans because I think that's usually what they're called. Their only thing that they're good at is they do an uppercut when you do a jump attack at them, if you're not careful. Oops. Alright, the jetpack guys can be quite annoying. You can cheese them by doing the jump attack. You want to keep your distance. They've got some really obnoxious moves. They can grab you. Sometimes hard to see what like plane they're on because you kind of have to look at their shadow. Alright. Boom. They're mostly annoying when there's, I don't know about on the normal mode, on the hard mode there's an area where you have to fight like 3 of them at the same time. And that can get quite annoying. When there's one, you can kind of contain them. Oh, Garcia. I'm sure it's supposed to be Garcia though, because it's probably a mistranslation. You can throw something to activate the enemies faster. Didn't even need the apple. By the way, this game is called Bare Knuckle in Japan. I don't know why they renamed it for the North American release. Maybe they just thought it sounded dumb. I don't know. I can't be objective about it because I just always have known it as Streets of Rage, so... In terms of other games, Streets of Rage 1, I'll say it's good, it's okay. The graphics are not as good, the music's not as good, gameplay's not as good. Streets of Rage 2, to me, is the absolute pinnacle of the series. Streets of Rage 3... there are elements of it that I like, but overall it does not feel good. There's something wrong with it, to me at least. Like, it feels like the enemies are harder, the storyline is weirder. Like, it tries to have a storyline, but I don't really get it. It's bizarre. Characters are pretty weird too. We drop Max and add some weird scientist guy with robot arms. So not my favorite by any means. And then one thing I really love is that there is a remake. It's, I think, as far as I know, it's abandonware at this point. Because I don't think Sega appreciated them making it. It's called Streets of Rage Remake. And it allows you to play all of the levels, Streets of Rage 1, 2, or 3. You can use the sprites and the move sets from 1, 2, and 3. So if you liked the, like if you liked how Blaze looked in Streets of Rage 1, for example, you can play as her. Okay, I need to be careful. Ninjas are obnoxious, and that one's got a sword, which does a ton of damage. Ugh. Yeah, they can teleport. They can do all sorts of annoying stuff, and they love to throw you. So the answer is to throw them first, obviously. Sword's powerful, but you don't get to keep it after a scene transition, so no point. But yeah, Streets of Rage Remake is really cool. It's even got added characters as well. Like you can play, you remember that girl with the whip? You can actually play as her, which is pretty fun. Yeah, both of these characters are not hard on their own, but you put them in a group together and they're a bit harder because one move might be good for one of them and not for the other one. And if I grab this character, then the other one comes in like jump kicks or whatever. So together they're a bit stronger. Individually they're pathetic. Alright, and then game takes a weird little turn here. Like we just wandered into Contra or something. Apparently I've got a turkey and there's a sword. Yeah, and I actually might want to keep the sword for the boss fight. It makes it a bit easier. Oof. Yeah, sword does a ton of damage. For weapons, at least. I think you can still do more damage if you do the jump, slap, knee, throw. But as weapons go, it's really good. Guys just like come up out of the ground like zombies. Alright. Let's see. I'm gonna try to hold on to that apple. There's an extra life below this like weird demon alien head. I'll get that in a second. When I activate the head, and it is not actually really the boss. Okay, so the extra life right there. We have over 9 lives at this point. Okay, the ninjas, you can actually trick them if they're far away, they'll jump towards you. You can actually trick them into jumping into your sword. Which is pretty fun. Okay, and we are at the boss. If you time this right, you can blow them up. Ugh. Yeah, and this guy is much easier with the sword. He keeps making me drop it though. one of those games, if you drop an item too many times, it disappears. This guy's not too bad, but he's much easier if you've got a sword. His AI doesn't handle the sword very well. He just kind of stands there while you slash him. Alright, stage 3. There's 8 stages, by the way. Sega Stadium. Oof. Oh, I haven't even done my my dash move yet. So I just forget about it. So if you tap twice in one direction and then attack, you do your dash move. Ugh. Ow! It's actually a really damaging move, and it often does work against enemies who block as well. If you aim it just right, it's a really powerful move. I guess in some ways it's safer and faster just to grab the enemies and do that. But enemies that will do like an uppercut defense against aerial attacks, I think they can block that dash move that way. Oops. Can't believe I forgot my dash move though. So, one of the reasons that Axel is stronger than Blaze is that his dash move is just OP busted powerful. Like, I don't think there's any enemies that can really block it. Whereas Blaze's dash move is cool, but can be blocked by a lot of enemies. Yeah, and like that, see the slide? The signal slide can go underneath Blaze's dash move. You don't necessarily want to use the dash move on those signals. But yeah, slap to the face, knee, and throw is probably Blaze's most damaging combo. Boom. Yeah. Boom. Clear a whole group of enemies. Ooh. That's one thing too. Weapons are good equalizers. Like, normally I would rather, like I say, slap, knee, throw. But if there's more than one enemy, they can back each other up and kind of mess you up that way. So the weapon is a nice equalizer where you just swing it and you hit both enemies. Yeah. If you know people are coming up behind you, it's nice to know you can do your sweeping move. Sometimes I just do it just because it's a little bit faster than the high kick. And the sweep move hits a little bit in front of you, and then it hits quite a bit behind. Oh, there's only one big guy. These guys by themselves, like many of the mini boss types, are not hard. Watch out though, if you go and play Streets of Rage 1, the equivalent enemies, if you try to throw them over your shoulder, they fall on you and do damage. They don't do that in this game, thankfully. But it's a rude awakening when you switch over to Streets of Rage 1 and you try throwing them and they crush you. So yes, Seeker elevators and baseball fields. By the way, there is actually 5 difficulty modes in this game. Easy, normal, hard, hardest. And then I think if you beat hardest, it tells you a code. So you can play another mode called Mania, which is even harder than hardest. The code also allows you to have 9 lives, I think, instead of just 5. Obviously you don't need 9 lives if you're playing normal mode like I am. Oof. Just punch him one time. One of Blaze's moves makes her take a step forward. That's kind of cool. Yeah, see? My dash move can be blocked by these guys and their jump kicks, so... I think their kick can also counter it. So the dash move is good, but you gotta be careful with it. And again, where Axel's better is that his dash move, as far as I know, cannot be blocked. It's like this uppercut thing that has, it's like flames. This is one of the more annoying bosses. Fortunately, there's only 2 of him in the entire game. Sometimes it's easier just to cheese him with a jump kick. Because he has all sorts of counters. You can't even grab him usually, because he has this move where he goes raw and he throws you off if you grab him. Normal mode apparently is not activated very often. Yeah, so he's actually pretty easy in normal mode, but you play him on hardest mode, he's a beast. He'll just wreck you. Stage 5 start. I don't quite understand the route my character's taking. So I was walking through a city, went through an amusement park and a baseball field, and I'm on a ship. But I also don't really need to know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I just want to beat up people, and I don't mind having a different environment. And it actually kind of makes sense if you just fill in the gaps, like, because I think the next level is like on a beach, and then there's like a jungle, then there's a factory, so it's like, okay, I'm going through the city, finding secret hideouts, must have gone to the docks or something, and now I'm on a ship, and then I'm going to be on an island, and there's a factory on the island. The thing that doesn't make sense maybe is stage 8 is a skyscraper, so apparently Mr. X built a skyscraper on a island? That's a little weird. I really should have put this on hard mode. This is pretty easy. Maybe I'll come back and play hard mode as Max or something. Our first kickboxer dude. They're not too bad by themselves, but you get a lot of them in one place and they are super annoying. They're fast and they block. Nope, can't quite reach them. trying to activate him before the turkey edges off the screen. I don't think it's going to happen though. This is the guy that the dash move actually works really well on. He'll try to block, but he really can't. He did block that one and then he threw me. Slap him right in the face. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we're gonna try to get through the bosses on this stage, or this whatever scene. So we're gonna try to get through with the sword still intact. And no, this is not the boss, this is just a little minion. Not even really, I guess you can call it a mini boss if you want to, but having a hard time hitting him with the sword. Alright. Take the apple. Coming up, we got a bunch of bikers and ninjas. Gonna have some guys throwing grenades at us too, I think. Oop, there's that ninja. You don't want the ninjas to get the swords, because they actually know how to use them. Never a fan of enemies who like to hide off screen. Do the same trick where we'll trick the ninja into jumping towards us. We have another sword. Probably switch to that one. You only drop a weapon a certain number of times before it despawns. Oops, oops, oops. And I've dropped this sword a couple times, so... Oops. Gotta wait for these grenades to go away. And yeah, that's the boss music. This is the boss. That's pretty annoying. Made worse if he's got a bunch of minions. Ooh. And that's not him, that's another minion. So clear all the minions you can. So the big guys have two ways that they'll move back towards you. Either jump like the ninjas, or they will run while breathing fire. Their fire breath move is really annoying. Okay. My health is actually pretty low, so I want to try to get the turkey when I need it. Alright, we got this boxer guy. Looks like he belongs in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Our bear. But yeah, bringing a sword to a boxing match is a pretty thick move, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think this would work on the hardest mode. Just catching him in the corner and slashing him to death. Dun, dun, dun. This is where the game starts to turn. The beach this level's where you start, if you're playing on the hard or hardest mode, you'll start losing lives faster than you're gaining them. And you want to make sure that it doesn't get too out of control. But yeah, you got like ninjas paired up with tons of minions. And then just not enough health to go around. And like most beat 'em up games, kind of one of the tricks is to kind of like just try not to get surrounded. So if you can finish off one of the ninjas, like keep the other ninja away while you just focus in on one ninja and finish them off real fast, it's much better than if you're trying to fight all the enemies at the same time. The normal minions are weak enough that if they come in groups, you can usually fight them even in a group. But like these kickboxers, these guys can be quite dangerous when they have you surrounded just because there's so many. And yeah, I'm about to die. Yep. You grab one and the others try to help out. You can capture them all at the same time. It's great. But yeah, that was my first death, I think. What, stage 6? And yeah, I probably could have played better, but I just barely missed that turkey. Yep, missed the turkey, which is unfortunate because now it's a complete waste. If you think about it, it's like an entire life, you know? Like, it's a full restore of your health. Money. And yes, use enemies as weapons against each other. All right. Oof. Yep. The fire breath move is really obnoxious. It's really best just to completely avoid it. Not a really good counter to it, in my opinion. You can sometimes get a jump attack through, but sometimes you can't. So just don't try. Just, he does fire move, you just move out of the way. Gourmand. Ooh, ooh. And they can have a really devastating slap attack, those big guys. I'm gonna get run over by a biker before I get my healing, I'm sure. Oh, yeah. I didn't even see that. You can pick up the grenades, but they're really hard to pick up for some reason. I don't think they're coded very well. Ooh. Ow, ow. That's annoying. I was using my offensive move and she just hits right through it. There's a whole bunch of like really low health bikers. I think it's implied they're the ones that came off the bikes or something. Typically the bikers that are on bikes have lower health. I think just as a way to deal with the fact like, oh, when they fall off, they're damaged. But really, they just never had that much health to begin with. The way they're coded, I mean. Okay, this boss can be a little annoying because we have a combination of characters that are annoying. Best practice is to kill the jet guy first, and then you're left with just one of these claw guys, and they're not that bad, really. And again, I'm on normal mode, so it's not too bad anyway. Boom. Hard mode, you get more enemies. The enemies are smarter, faster, and sometimes use cheap moves. Or more likely to use the moves that are cheap. Like the signals I've mentioned can throw you. I don't know if I've had any of them throw me in this playthrough yet. They will basically teleport to wherever you are and throw you in the hard mode. Like, you're like, I wasn't actually within range, and they just teleport and throw you. You know, it's that biker, he does like a punch. You know, so imagine that faster, like that. They'll do more moves like that on the hard mode. Oops, almost jumped right into the grenade. Oof. Even the little weenie guys that just do those quick little punches will throw them faster. Like, you could kind of tell that even within this playthrough of the later levels, they're more aggressive, but they're overall more aggressive in the harder modes. Look at that. Oh yeah, and then we have conveyor belts. Boom. Extra life. Get extra life before I lose it. Yes, and then just can like dodge with their weird little teleport move. Alright, there's my turkey. Yeah, and then it's like we get weird combos, like we get the whip ladies with the ninjas. And again, different enemies can cover each other's weaknesses. It's kind of a neat way to balance the game out, though. It's like you get a ninja by himself, usually not too hard, kind of annoying. Whip lady by yourself is crazy easy. Put them together and you got a pretty nasty combo. Now, the enemies in this game do hide off screen. Mostly it's ones like ninjas where it kind of makes sense, so I kind of forgive it. I'm not a fan of games that allow enemies to hide off screen, but if someone's going to hide off screen and ambush me, then it should be a ninja, I think. Okay, I want to open that right away, so you have access to your healing item. Yeah, I'll go ahead and use it. I was pretty low. Oof. Yeah, see. Oh, and then he did his grapple move. Yeah. Sometimes you can see the enemies coming, there's not much you can do about it. Alright. And then again, by himself, he's not so hard. But when he was with that group of enemies, he was laying the hurt down on me. And I already used up my healing, so gonna be losing a life soon. Oop! Try to use my special move, and didn't have enough health even for that. Love to get my hands on that sword. It's gonna be hard to hold on to with all these guys, but we can try. Alright, killed one of the ninjas. And then he's gonna grab the sword. Just gonna make it despawn faster. Ow! And he hit me with it, it hurt. Oh, dang it. Oh, he's gonna throw me? Okay, on hard mode, he absolutely would have thrown me at that point. Alright, I think this is where all the kickboxers come and start beating on me. Yep. So like I said, we're getting a net loss of lives at this point of the game. But we are close to the end, so it is okay. Boom. Oof. Ouch. Yeah, by yourself, you are nothing. Oh my gosh. In a group. Ouch. They are just pounding on me. Oh, died again already. What are you laughing about? Eat this. I missed. I got stabbed. Go away. Ouch. Ouch. It never really occurred to me, their AI is better, these later versions of the same enemies. Their AI is absolutely better. Alright. Then we've got the robot fight. These guys are pretty annoying. Same kind of thing. You grab one of them, the other one clubs you in the head. They do have a move that will actually damage you if you grab them. Probably won't use it too often on normal mode. Dang it. Yeah, they got all sorts of moves that are annoying, and then they jump around like maniacs. And then they also, since they're always jumping around, it's hard to get a combo in on them because any damage you take when you're jumping around, you instantly fall down. So not so much on the stun locking. Okay. Killed one. The other one will be annoying, but not as hard. Oh! And he just blows up on me. Good thing I survived. Alright, we're on to the final level. This is basically a boss rush, so expect a lot of death. Oh my gosh. don't know why I'm not hitting the robot. A couple times it seemed like we were lined up pretty well. Get off of me. Oxygen. And imagine trying to fight robots and a boxer at the same time. Bare Jr. Yeah, your dad? I kind of cornered him and sliced him open with a sword. I hope you won't mind. Ouch. He seems to mind. Ouch. Ouch! He has no defense against weapons, so he actually just like his dad, as soon as he gets up, I can just smack him again. Alright. Between each floor of this elevator, we'll actually get a slight recharge on our health, which is nice. But it is absolutely a boss rush. And yes, I held onto that guy long enough to get this guy. Do whatever cheap move you can do to win, because these guys don't play around anymore. He tried to block my throw. It was important to me to take out the ads before this guy showed up because he's going to be a pain. He's a pain to fight when he's got minions. Not too bad on his own, really. Not in normal mode. I think in hard mode he has a throw that he'll kind of spam like that. He'll spam that one. Alright, got some health back. Let's see, we're about to get the wrestler guy, I think. Yep. Use the kickboxer as a weapon. Oh, that was funny. Kind of glitched out a little bit there. He tried to do his hold break move and failed. Okay, I don't know if I got lucky on that guy or what. I killed him pretty fast. Alright, here is the single most annoying enemy in the game. He is like fighting your partner because he has just about everything you've got. He's got his defensive move, he's got throws. He is very obnoxious, so. I haven't really showed you, but for some enemies, especially like this guy, sometimes it's best just to spam your defensive power move, just because you're going to lose more life if you don't. Mr. X, in my opinion, isn't really that hard, but he has an annoying number of minions that are constantly spawning. He has a couple annoying moves. Like, he just smacks you with his gun. He likes to laugh when you fall down, which is pretty annoying. His minions make really good weapons against him. I just constantly throws minions at him. It's pretty funny. He can spam his gun, which is annoying. Yeah, it's pretty hard to do anything about that gun because all you can really do is stand in the upper right corner and hope he doesn't hit you. And that's it. Always put my initials in as bad when I have initials. The music in this game is really good, by the way. Dun-dun. I always remember when we did beat this game. Always felt so good. And there's Adam, we just rescued him. Or my nephew Drew was like trying to write lyrics for this song one time. This game takes me back. So my nephew Drew actually just passed away this year. It's a little painful. He was almost kind of more like a cousin. He was actually older than me. Don't ask, my family's weird. And so he would come and hang out with us for several weeks in the summer. Usually we'd get up to a lot of mischief, but he loved this game. Funny how music can kind of send you back in time. This game's got some pretty good pixel art too. It's impressive. Dun, dun, dun. All right. I actually don't know if I'm going to ever do a full playthrough of Max. So I'm going to go ahead and show you real quick here the first level as Max on hardest. So you can see kind of what you're dealing with. And remember how hard the game was getting towards the end of the game. Imagine that even worse. So as Max, your basic move for clearing your minions is your slide move. Max is too slow to do much of anything else. You know, so I slowed down. That's when I got kind of beat up. And that slide move is his dash move, by the way. All right. Oof. Yeah, see the yellow guys are doing a lot more of their throws. Now, if you get a single guy by themselves, you can just squeeze their head or whatever you're doing there. It's pretty well guaranteed to kill any normal strength enemy and knock off at least 1 star off of any boss type. But your main weakness as Max is that you physically move slow, your punches are slow, and enemies that can like throw you will often get their hands on you first before you can get your hands on them, and that's why you do the slide into the move. And then that's the backbreaker. That's going to be our end boss killer. You can pull it off on normal enemies. You can actually use it on each other. Alright. With Max, you're not going to do the weapons. Maybe the pipe, but most of the other ones are just a liability. The pipe is nice with him. He actually does a backswing with it, so you can hit people behind you. It's pretty cool. I actually really like how each character handles the weapons differently. So yeah, Max is absolutely the best at the pipe. Blaze has her weird thing where she's really good at the knife. Skate's pretty much just terrible at everything. So yeah, the pipe's pretty good. Pipe's pretty good for Max. In some ways it actually like increases his speed. Alright. Yeah, anytime you can get behind the enemy, you just do this and break their back. And that is why he is the best boss killer. Doesn't matter how much health they have. If you can spam that back-breaking move, they are dead in seconds. Or you can squeeze them like that, it does almost the same amount of damage. Now the other characters, I don't think I showed you, the other characters can actually jump over their enemies after they've put them in a hold. Max cannot, and so you actually need to find a way to grab the enemy from the rear to begin with. And that's where the elbow move or the slide move comes in play. But yeah, you will absolutely spam that dash move as Max because he is just too slow otherwise. Oop, went for a little ride there. I think Max takes some skill to use. I know when I used to play with my brother and my nephew Drew, I think I was the one that played Max. I don't know if they ever figured out how to use him very well. If you don't know how to use him, he's awful. Like I said, just too slow. You're just sitting there taking hits. That's kind of the big thing is, I think he even takes less damage than the other characters, but he's just getting nickeled and dimed because he's so slow. All the enemies are getting a free hit on him. But it's like, okay, this chick's got 2 stars, like 2 extra bars of health, but you just come up, you just look at how much damage he does if he can get his hands on the enemy. And it's cool, I mean, he's a wrestler, makes sense, I guess. Oof. Characters like that are good at not getting stuck in a hold right away are pretty good at countering Max, which is why it's nice to have your friend playing a faster character. And then Max can't throw enemies really, so you can't activate these guys. Alright, well, we're going to activate the boss and see if we can get... Remember, our main thing is we want to get our hands on him. Get our hands on him, then we can do some major damage. Oof. Decided to help me along my way. Alright, you'll get that turkey. Here's his special move. It does a ton of damage to people who block, interestingly. And again, the slide is the winning move. Alright, so that's basically max. Just wanted to show you that real quick. I might even finish playing through it sometime, but I don't think I have time this morning here, so I think I'll go ahead and just pause it, and I might come back another time, but that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed that. This game's got a lot of meaning to me. Like I said, it's the first Sega Genesis game I ever owned. Got some good memories here. Playing with my nephew Drew, who passed away this last year. My mom passed away also a couple, I guess, 2 years ago now. So thinking about that, she's the one that took my money and ordered from me because I was a little kid. And then I gave her a bunch of grief because it wasn't the game I wanted, and then I ended up loving it anyway. So lots of memories tied up with this game, and probably way too many hours spent playing it because, again, first Sega Genesis game, this is what I had to do. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.